Welcome to Dr. Jester Talks, and I'm going to talk about this from Pennsylvania State Senate. Social Media Accountability Act from Senator Doug Mastriano and Senator Scott E. Hutchinson. This is how you try to fight the censorship caused by the big tech and the media, the mainstream media. This is awesome. This is why I love America. Things like this you never ever see in the shithole I currently live in. In fact, the Constitution, that they have here is mostly, well, let's face it, it's not even worth the toilet paper it is printed on. Oh, no, sorry, not even the ink and the one-ply cheap gas station toilet paper is printed on. It's not even worth that. Because you have no free speech, which is why I'm absolutely terrified to reveal my actual location. Because there's no free speech here. There is none. There's no guarantee you won't end up in jail because of things you say. But this is absolutely amazing, which is why I absolutely fucking love America. This, my friends, this is why I love America. There's guarantee of free speech, and even after having faced censorship and having the big tech going after you for your speech, for your words, because the control left absolutely hates you, there's still people fighting for it, and they will fight, and they will stand up against these imbecilic idiots. Thank you, Senator Doug Mastriano and Senator Scott E. Hutchinson. Thank you for doing that. Despite I'll probably not even ever benefit from something like that, because I don't think... because I'm not American, and I wish I were. I wish I were, because of people like them. Anyway, here is what it says. In the near future, we plan to introduce a legislation that would further protect people's speech from undue restriction and censorship. Our legislation would mandate that social media companies inform their users in writing why their accounts were banned or disabled within 30 days and require those companies to offer users recourse to restore their account. I don't want to sneeze. Mostly because there's no pause feature in this shitty Streamlabs OBS. Fucking hell. Anyway, let's move on to the highlighted bits. Freedom of speech is a principal pillar of free government. When this support is taken away, the constitution of a free society is dissolved, end quote. This is in Pennsylvania Gazette, Franklin, who wrote this. And he is absolutely right. The free speech is an absolute pillar of a government, of a free government, of a free society. You cannot have a functioning country, you cannot have a functioning government without free speech. You need the people to go on and criticize the government when it needs to be criticized, and praise it when it needs to be praised. Although more often than not, it needs to be criticized, because otherwise the government will not be answerable to the people that it's trying to serve. And unfortunately, the big tech is kind of starting to collude itself with the government, and the government is colluding with the big tech or the private companies. In this case, it's kind of forming a fascist... it's kind of forming a fascism again, because fascism is a socialism with a veneer of capitalism, as in fascism is socialism, but with a bit of a help of the private sector. That's how fascism worked in Italy. And this is what we're seeing on the big tech. The big tech is doing the Democrats' favor, or working for the Democrats in trying to censor what you say or what you believe in. Anyway, one of the most acclaimed playwrights or philosophers of Athens, Euripides, expressed the state of man when unable to give voice to thought and opinion 2,400 years ago, saying, "This is slavery, not to speak one's thought." once thought. Obviously, I'm just highlighting the quotes. They added quite a few here in the article itself, but here it is. Free speech is fundamental to both individual and a healthy, free society. The tendency of big tech to limit or censor speech is gravely concerning. I absolutely agree. They have elevated themselves as the sole arbiters of truth. To think that we, as limited humans, have the omniscience, I think I'm butchering the word, or objectivity to determine the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, is at best naive and at worst arrogant. And the best we can do is to hope that we all have some piece of truth that we share with others in the public commons to hopefully knit together some semblance of the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Our hope is that this measure will hold social media companies accountable to the standard and spirit of free speech that our society depends on. And this, my friends, is how you try to fight it. Florida is doing something similar. And quite frankly, I was kind of hoping Texas would start doing something like that, and I dearly fucking hope Texas starts to join on this as well. Obviously there are other states, I think it's doing something similar or something like that, but overall I think we need something like this, and we absolutely fucking need something like this, because social media is currently censoring every speech, and I think there's a certain something that happened in November. I'm censoring myself here because Alphabet, you know, Google's parent company, doesn't like when we mention a certain something that happened in certain something on certain something in November that kind of caused and flipped a certain something that people went on November 3rd to alter something, and that made a certain candidate win over a certain someone. and that caused a certain modification of the certain results of a certain place. I love censorship, isn't it? And I'm being ironic when I said that. Jesus Christ. And not only that, it fortified the certain results. So, I wish I could post this on minds.com/Dr. Jester, but I'm preferring to get a bit more reach over here. Either way, hopefully this gets passed, and the social media giants is accountable for their own actions. They need to be accountable for. Otherwise, we need a very large reform for Section 230. Anyway. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want more censorship or tame content, stay right here on Karen.com. And youtube.com/Dr. Jester. If you want me to be completely and utterly free and say things that doesn't need to be censored, go to minds.com/Dr. Jester. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good night.